Alright guys, here is a Comfort Zone 16-inch oscillating pedestal fan model CZST from 2006. Now, this is probably the earliest version there is of Comfort Zone products in general, even though this brand was already around since I guess 2000, because I do remember seeing a box fan from 2001 that was under the Comfort Zone brand. But I'm guessing this is the earliest oscillating pedestal fan there is, because there is no other like it. And I think the only other brands that had fans like this one was probably the Weatherworks and the Uniqueware fan. But yeah, this is pretty impressive. And I'm even more impressed that this has been around for 19 years to date. And considering this, that normally when you think of Comfort Zone fans, the first thing you would think of is a very short fan with thin blades, which are very floppy but do have some decent pitch somewhat. It has a small tuna can motor, a foldable base, but it will break easily, and of course, they will use grease for the gearbox instead of actual motor oil, and which would lead to a lot of these being thrown out in masses for whatever reasons. And also, not to mention the fact that some of their fan grills tend to deteriorate quickly now for a very weird reason. But yeah. Now, this, of course, was based off of the Panasonics for the 70s, from the control box design to the design of this motor cover right here. Now, I just started looking into this motor, and this is the most impressive part. This is the motor they were using at this time, and it's just insane to think of that. The fact that Comfort Zone actually used this motor, because I think a year later or two they would start using those same motors that SMC was using after this. But yeah, it's a very decent motor. It has somewhat decent tilting range, but yeah, it has a very cheap feeling to it. Once again, this is the cheapest product that there was available at the time. And you also got to keep in mind what was around at this time as well. Like this was the last year SMC made products, and then there was the Medea fans, and some decent Laska Performance Series fans, as well as the Cool Breeze fans, which will later cheapen up, as already established. But yeah, this is very insane to find. And I got this alongside that cool horn fan. It's very insane. Now, this runs very slow for some reason, so I think it might be a capacitor issue, or maybe the motor is spoiled, but it doesn't seem that the motor has problems, so I might have to check whatever the reason is making this run slow. But here is the high. Now, of course, this is the same blade set that's used on the Arctic Wind fans, and which are otherwise known as the Duracraft knockoffs. Now, it's not really strong right now because, once again, this is very underpowered, but if this were to run up to speed the correct way, this would be insanely, this would be very powerful and outperform these newer Comfort Zone pedestal fans. Medium. It is somewhat out of balance. This blade was warped when I got it, so I had to rework it somewhat. And low. But yeah, once again, this thing just runs very underpowered Who knows why that is? I might check once again. I'll check into that once I'm done with the video. Test the oscillations. I'm very impressed. This is not making clicking noises when it's oscillating back and forth. Because some pedestal fans, when they're used a lot, their gearboxes, the teeth of the gears tend to mess up, and therefore there will be some problems with the oscillation mechanism. I'm glad there isn't with this one. But yeah, it's running very slow. This will be a low speed on probably an underpowered fan, but this is severely underpowered. Because the high speed on this one is a low speed on the Alaska fan. So something is not right with this one. But yeah, in terms of build quality, this is probably the most decent comfort zone I've seen, because if you remember the other one from 2010, those were already cheap at that point. From the grills to the base to the blade and the motor. And also the parts that were used for them. But yeah, this is pretty insane just to see. I'm glad it runs at least. But yeah, this might need to have some work done with it. Alright, goes off. Spin down is very decent, at least. And before it stops spinning down, let's take a look at the side, which I haven't shown yet. Now that I realize, but yeah, as you can see, this is the pitch overall. This is very decent compared to what Comfort Zone offers now. And once again, the build quality is just amazing, even though the base has some flaws with it. But yeah, that'll be it for the video. So that is the initial checkout of the Comfort Zone 16-inch pedestal fan model CZST161 from 2006.